Hello folks. In this video we're going to take a look at Python lists and how we can use them to organize our code a little bit better and to make our life as programmers a little bit easier. What we're going to be doing is starting with a simple inventory program. So we'll do Python lists and we'll do adventures backpack. Okay. To create a list in Python, all we have to do is define a variable. We'll call it backpack. And then we have square brackets. The square brackets are going to be used to identify the list items. And these list items are separated by commas. So if we're going to have a hero, an adventure, going off in like medieval times, like a fantasy adventure, what are they going to need? Sword, of course. Some sort of like helmet or hat. We gotta get him some food. A healing potion. And let's see. Oh, we gotta have some coins. All right. Can't be adventuring without some money. All right. So we have our list. Pretty handy. But the problem is that, okay, we can see what's in the backpack list, and there's a manageable amount of items. What happens if those numbers are in the millions of items, right? Say you're listing off all the items that, you know, a player could possibly hold, okay, all the different values. There's a lot of information there. And we could visually scan this list here, but there's much easier ways to do it, right? All right, so let's find out first off, find the length of the list. To do that, all we have to do is we have to do it's just simply length backpack. Okay, and this will return the length of the backpack. How many items are in the backpack? We can wrap this in print with parentheses, and that will tell us that there's 5 items in that backpack. Okay, that's the first thing. I'm going to comment that out real quick. All right, the next one is, all right, so we know the length of the backpack is 5. Well, like I said, if there's 100,000 items in that backpack, you're not counting through. Or I'd highly not recommend counting through every item in that backpack. Perhaps to see if that item is there, right? If you want to know, does this person have a healing potion in their backpack? You can scan through all the list items to see if it's there, or we can just have the program do that for us. I mean, that's the purpose here, right? Is to have the computers do the work for us so we don't have to. And computers could do this. This is not a difficult problem for a computer. It's going to be searching, okay? So we could do a test. Test if item is in backpack. Okay, and so all we can do is we can do an if healing potion in backpack. Print I have a healing potion. Okay, let's see it. We run it. I have a healing potion. Okay, so it searched through the backpack. It found that there's a healing potion. The quote is there. Okay, the string is there. And it was able to run this statement. So, all right, so you look at this. This is new. We haven't covered this yet. And it's the in operator. And it's kind of weird because it kind of looks like an if statement, but like a for loop. And that's because essentially it's an if statement and a for loop combined. And it's an if statement, meaning it's going to return a true or false value as a result, but it's an in. So it's actually going through and searching through each item in that list to come back and see if it actually has that item or not. So if healing potion in backpack, print that. All right. Now, this is pretty handy because it means that because it's an if statement, okay, we can also do something like else. Print I don't have a I don't have a healing potion. Okay. Obviously it does. Let's change healing potion, mana potion. All right, so it basically we did a little quick little test to say, okay, does it have a different type of potion in backpack? And no, it doesn't. So we could also use this to say, I have a healing potion. We can easily set this up into be some sort of like a little mini program where maybe this hero is going to battle and they have a certain number of life, say 20. And say we want to do, instead of print I have a healing potion, we could do something like I am healed. Otherwise, what we can do is actually give them damage, right? If they don't have a healing potion in battle, they're going to take some damage. So we can do life minus equal, say 2. Okay, oh, and then we got to do, let's do print life. Okay, so here we see a very simple statement where if it's in the backpack, print I'm healed, else life gets reduced by 2, and we print off life at the end there. So we see a very simple if-else statement to do a test. If the item is there, and if it's there, do something with it. Okay, I'm just going to comment that out and move on down the list. Okay, so all right, so we know that we can test to see if an item is there, and then we can do things with it. All right, but like I said, if this is a long list, all right, and we have a healing potion, how do we get it out of the list, right? So if they use the healing potion, how do we get rid of it? Okay, and what we learned before is that a list has a length. And so it must be able, the program must be able to count the number of items in the list. And in fact, that's actually what they do. We'll call this indexing list. Okay, so what we have is a list. Say I have a simple list of just a couple of characters. A, B, C. Okay. How lists work in Python is the first item in the list has a position. The second item has a position. The third item has a position. Essentially, when we run our if-in loop, what it's going through is it's going through each item in the list and testing to see if the item in each index position matches the search item that we're looking for. In this case, it was healing potion. So it starts at 0 and works its way up. So why 0? A lot of languages start at 0. There's very, very few languages that actually start at number 1 when they count lists or index items. So we have 0, 1, and 2, and that goes all the way up to the entire length of the list. So what we can do is actually interesting, is that we can take this knowledge and find out what items are in each position. Okay, I'm going to comment that out real quick. If we did something like an index position, we could do something like backpack 0. And actually, we'll just wrap that in a print statement. Okay, and it tells us what is at position 0. So if we look back up here, sword is at position 0. It's the first thing in the list. Okay, that's cool. What if we change this to 2? Food. 0, 1, 2 goes to food. All right, pretty neat. Find an index position at any position. What happens if we try to access something that's not there? Say we'll give it like 8. All right, it complains. It tells us that the list index is out of range on line 23. Basically, we're going too far past the list, the length of the list, and that there's no way to access that information that's there. So that's how it's going to let you know that you've gone too far. Okay, so index list up here. We see that we can start at 0 and work our way down. There is another way to organize this, in that we can actually start at the end of the list and work our way back. And if we work our way back, each position, each number, -3, kind of lines up. Okay, as each item in the list has a position starting from 0, 1, and 2, but also we can also know the end of the list. So we roughly, if you have a list and you have, say, 5 items in that list, because we use 0 for one of the positions, it's going to be, if the last item in the list is going to be the length of the list -1. So in this case, we have 3 letters, A, B, and C, but our counting on it goes up to 0, 1, and 2 for each position item. Okay, so a helpful way, if you really want to quickly get rid of like the last 3 items off the list or something like that, we can just do backpack -1, and actually will return the last thing on the list, coins. So it's a handy little trick that we can use to find that. Okay, not all languages have that. Okay, but Python does. So find an item at an index position. Okay, any index position there. find multiple items using slice. Okay, so with a slice, what we can do is we can grab a chunk of items. So we can remove just healing potion, but maybe we want to remove a couple items. So what we can do is actually go through, and if we did backpack 0, we put a colon there and 2. All right. If this makes more sense, actually, I'm going to define a couple of variables up here. I'm going to do start equals 0, finish equals 2. And down here, and I'm going to swap these out with start, finish. And the reason for that is to think about not necessarily the index positions, because that's not exactly how slicing works, but where the items are. So if we did 0 to 2, you might be thinking it's going to grab food. Let's take a look. Okay. Oh, it got rid of this one. Hang on. Let's do print backpack start to finish. We'll comment that out. Okay. 0, 1, 2. If we put 0 to 2 here, why isn't it grabbing food? It's just grabbing sword and helmet. It has to do with the way that slicing works in identifying the positions. So if we did, if I did A, B, and C again, whoops, B, C, okay. So instead of 0, 1, 2, how Python works is actually it splits these up into different index positions. I'm going to swap this out with bars, and I think it might be easier to see. Whoops. Okay. So if we think about grabbing a number, right? If we just put a number here, backpack 0, well, that's A. And backpack 0 to 1 means that you're going to be slicing it. And the slicing happens, think about actually slicing if you're going to slice this array, you're going to cut it into pieces. Okay, it's going to cut it in between the items, right? So what you're identifying is not the index position with the slice, but actually the where you cutting the item out from. So here we're going to make a slice at essentially position 0, 1, so 0, 1, 2. Okay, 0, 1, 2. If we add a third position, a third thing we want to get out of the list, okay, we could try, we have to do 4, because actually we're going to make the slice mark at position 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So slice position 4, let's cut it, and bad input on line 28. Oh, yeah, it doesn't like that. Okay, so we can do it at position 4, okay, and we're getting, let's see, sword, helmet, food, and healing potion. Sword, helmet, food, healing potion. 0, 2, 4. 1. At 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah, all right. Did I forget this? Yeah, sorry, I think I might have been counting it as a position 4. I don't know. Yeah, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 will be a 4th item. Okay, so just know that basically the 0 goes with the 0 index is happening before the item that you're trying to cut out. So 0 happens at the beginning of that item, 1 happens at the end. So if we did 0 to 1, okay, 0 to 1, it's only going to cut out sword, which is the first item on the on the list. Okay, so a little confusing, but it's helpful to think of it almost as like slicing, like you're slicing items out, and where are you making that slice from? And the reason is that we can actually cut things out of, say, the middle. So if we wanted to grab items, let's see, we'll start at slice 1 and go to slice 3. We're going to grab 2 items out of it. Okay, so we make a slice at, let's see, yeah, right before item 1, so here, and at the end of item 3, all right, slice 3, so 0, 1, 2, 3, here, okay, right after the 3rd item, and it grabs all that out and returns it back to us. Okay, we ran along. How do we delete an item or remove an item? Well, let's do remove. And to remove an item for a list, all we have to do is find the index position of it. So we have backpack. Let's do delete, del, backpack, and then we give its index position. So delete backpack 0, and then we can print backpack 0. And so we should be deleting the first item off that list, in this case, sword. And we'll delete backpack 0. So then we'll print off what's in the current position. So it's printing this off. We can actually hide this stuff by commenting it out. Okay. So we can remove a single item by finding its position. Now, sword was originally the first item in that list. Now it's helmet. Remove multiple items. And for this, what we can do is simply identify the slice that we want to remove. So we can do delete, del, and we can do back, pack 0 to 2. So in that case, what it's going to do, it's going to delete those items. And then we can do is we could do print. Do print backpack. All right, so our backpack, after all of our butchering, has been down to, we removed the first item, which is sword, then we removed the next 3 items. So now we're down to healing potion and coins. We removed, the next 2 items. So we removed helmet and food. And so now, yeah, healing potion and coins. So not much left in that backpack. Let's add a new item. Okay, lists in Python can be changed. They can be modified. And so what we can do is simply, if we want to add something, and we're just going to add to the end of the list, we can do backpack plus equals and the new item. And so maybe we want to add in bread. And then we can print backpack. Okay. And oh man. So all right, what did it do? So it actually added in to the array. Yeah, so we did plus equals. Yeah, okay. So what we actually did was add in, I made a silly mistake. The backpack added the bread as a single string. It sliced the string and added each element to the array. That's not exactly what we want to do. Let's do all right. So I add a new item. What I was actually thinking of is the way we would do like add a new item. Yeah. So this is actually not adding a new item. This is my bad. This is not the way to do it. And for adding a new item, I'll show you what I was trying to do in a second. Backpack, we would just do append. And then we would put in the item we want to add. So bread. And there we go. Okay, so we added coins, and now we added bread to the end of our list. I was looking to concatenate lists. So if I had a second list of additional items, I just say just additional, and maybe we add in, let's see, what else can a hero have? Armor, of course. Okay, armor, and maybe, let's see. Oh, you're gonna give him some shoes. Okay. What I was trying to do is concatenate lists. We can actually combine lists. So if we have multiple lists of stuff, we can do backpack plus equals additional. And then we can do print backpack. Okay. So yeah, what this does is adds the additional armor and shoes. It combines these list items with the original list items to make a longer list items. All right. The last thing we can do is we can add items, or actually, I wouldn't say add. I would say redefine items at index positions, meaning that if we have backpack 0, which currently is going to be healing potion, we can redefine what that list item is by saying backpack 0 and then telling the computer what the new list item is that you want to add. So instead of a healing potion, maybe I want to add healing potions. Okay. And then we'll do print backpack. Okay. So healing potion, we see there, was changed to healing potions. So we can mutate, we can redefine what the items are actually inside of that backpack. All right, the last thing is that we can actually have a number of what are called the list methods. And I quickly revealed one up here when I did append. This is different than everything else we've done, and that is this dot notation. And you've seen it when working with turtles, that we add the dot and we tell it to do some sort of command and add in the parameter inside of there. Lists, you can do the same thing. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a score tracker program that will go through and track the scores of people inside of a game. And this is going to be a pretty lame one because we're going to have to do all the manual entry ourselves. But it'll go through and show you a bunch of different sorting methods we can possibly do with this. Okay, so for this one, let's set up I'm going to actually comment all the rest of this out. Actually, I'll just comment that out. And then down here, we'll comment this out. Okay, should be nothing running. Okay. So let's do scores equals an empty list. And we can say user select equals 0. Let's set up a simple menu that the user can select different items off of. Is not 0. So while user select is not 0, okay, we got to put in a quotes because it's going to be a string. We can do print. And then what we can do is actually do a fairly long string. So I'm going to hit enter on this one. And I'm going to hit make 3 quotes. And what that does is lets us do a very long string being printed out. And then we can set up our menu items. Show all scores. So we'll do 0 is exit, 1 show all scores, 2 is going to be add a new score. Oh, did typo up here. Scores, there we go. 3 is going to be delete a score. 4 sort all scores. Okay, so that's our print statement. So now we run it. We see that it is, oh man, yeah. Don't hit run. So what it's doing is it's in the loop. There we go. Whoop. So don't run it. So while user select is not 0, run this. So what is it's running it. Actually, because I did user select up here, and actually I forgot to make that a string. All right, there we go. Okay, we'll leave that as that for right now. And we'll come back to actually say the episode doesn't run. All right, there we go. That was a bug. Okay, moving on. Let's handle that problem. Let's do user select, and let's set that up to be an input to make sure we don't enter it in an endless loop. Select an option. Okay, and we can print. Actually, we'll just leave it like that. All right, so if we click run now, we should see select an option. And let's do actually, I'm not gonna test that right now. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. We're gonna break it. All right, so we'll do exit if choice equals 0. I know it does right now. Well, we're gonna fix that. Let's do a print. Goodbye. Okay. Let's list high scores. Let's list stuff so the player can see. Okay. The elif statement up here is a continuation of the if statement above. I'm just going to read that. Elif choice equals 1. Let's do print high scores. For score in scores, print score. So it means that it's going to go through, go search for every single thing. This is your typical for loop, okay? Instead of like for n in range or something like that, we can just do for score and score. It's going to go through each item inside the scores list and print that out for us. Okay. We can run it. Let's do 1. There should be nothing there. Name choice is not defined. Sorry. Yeah. User select. User select. There we go. Okay. Let's do 1. Okay. Prints off high scores. Very good. It just doesn't print off anything because there's nothing in the list yet. Okay. Let's do add a score. And for that one, we'll add another elif. User select equals 2. Score equals an integer value of an input. What score do you want to add? Okay. Then we can add item with append. And then we can do scores.append score. Okay. Let's go on to next one. Remove a score. Elif user select equals 3. Score equals inputs, integer version of input. What score do you want to remove? So before we start deleting items, though, we should do a check to see if it's there, right? If score in scores, score.remove score. So this is delete using the remove method. Okay, so we could do delete like we saw above, but we could also just use score.remove to remove that score. Okay, but we did check. Is the item there? If the item is not there, what do we do? Else, print that score isn't on the list. Okay. Next up, let's sort all scores. Elif user select equals 4. We can apply a sort method. And for this one, we can do scores dot sort. And what's pretty cool is that the sort method, the sort built-in method for scores and lists, actually has a parameter it's going to take, and it's going to ask whether or not you want it to be sorted, which way you want to sort it. Alpha, basically like a to Z or Z to A, ascending or descending. So here we can do reverse equals true. Okay, select an option. Let's do 2. What score do you want to add? Say, I'll give it a big score. There we go. All right, so it automatically exits the program. Because of our loop up here, we're going to fix this in just 1 second. Okay, so sort all scores, reverse true. You can play around with that to see which one you prefer. Okay, if you want to ascend it, sort a list in ascending order, smallest values first. You could simply call the method without passing in the values. But if you want it with descending order, meaning that you want it with the highest numbers first, you would just do the parameter reverse and equals true. Okay. All right. So now we should be good. Let's go up here and let's fix this thing above here, which actually caused us the initial bug and error. And we're going to set this to be a value of none. None is a keyword that basically means that it's undefined. So we have not defined anything yet. Let's click run. And it's still going. Why is it still going? What did I do? Bugs. Oh, all right. So it has to do that if we click on the while loop, little plus next to the while loop, you'll do a drop down. And when typing it out, I accidentally forgot to indent it. So what we have to do is go up to user select input, select option, and we're going to select everything that all the way down to the bottom there. Okay. Once everything's selected, we can just hit tab and it'll move it all over once. And you'll know it worked when, if you look at the while loop, there should be a bar that goes all the way down the bottom. And we have a drop down, we see it all hide. That way we know it's working. And now if we run it, we should see that we just have the options here. So we can hit any of these options, show all scores, add new score. Let's add new score. What score do you want to add? Let's add a big score. Okay, and we see what score do you want to add, and we see it there. Let's do add new score. Okay. And now let's do show all scores, hit 1, and high scores, and we see the high scores sorted by from greatest to the highest first down to the lowest. Okay. One last thing we should do is actually handle an option that what happens if the person hits like a 9 here. There's no option 9. It'll just simply go back, but we should tell the user something about the fact that they hit a button that no longer exists. So what we can do is we can add an else statement here that will handle every other number that's not on the list. Print that is not an option. Okay, we run it, and the person hits 9. That is not an option. There we go. All right. So an easy way to have us design a program that can use these built-in methods, right? So we can sort items on the list, we can remove items, we can add items, we can go and we can add in multiple lists, we can find items in a list, we can slice them out, we can remove individual ones, and we can check to see if items are actually there. So we covered quite a bit, and all of it is going to help make us organizing our programs a bit easier. Okay, we designed a little simple program today just to add user input to a list. Okay, but all of this together makes our writing our programs much easier and expands our capabilities. Lists are one of those things that are so important to almost every programming language, and you'll see it everywhere. And it's one of those things that's just going to make your life easier if you can think of items as a list and perform these methods on them to sort them, to arrange them, to grab things out of lists or add things to lists. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.